Okay, there's another thing that you want to do on an interruption when you're doing your little app thing, whether it be Uber Eats or Postmates or Food for Friends or whatever it may be, one that you make up or whatever, okay? You don't always want to go to the restaurant. You want to check the time, because in this case, I have about 6 minutes, right? I'm going to try to show you. Okay, that's the best I can do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to drop this one off. So I'm going to break the rules a little bit here. You don't want to follow the rules too close sometimes, because they're cooking the other order, right? And that doesn't always happen, especially if it's a McDonald's or a fast food one. You want to go straight there and pick it up at the fast food place usually. You've got to use discretion on those. It'll allow you to do that, which I think is kind of wrong because that can hurt the driver. But you have to kind of balance it out, you know, in your head and think, okay, I've got 5 minutes until I'm there. I can drop that one off and run back to the other store and pick the other one up, because they can keep you going back to back like that, okay? In this case, in most cases, I'd go straight to the restaurant and get the merchandise first, because I don't know what troubles I'm going to come into to drop this one off. In most cases, I would just go to the other restaurant. But I read the time. You can see this kind of, if you squint really hard, you can kind of see it right in here in this area, right? It says 8:02. So the next pickup is 8:16, okay? So I got a little bit of time. They're going to be cooking it. So if I went to the other restaurant, I'm going to be waiting and I'm going to be pressuring. So don't always go by all those rules and get the merchandise first, but usually in most cases, you will get the merchandise first. You'll go get the food first, and then you'll go to the next area, okay? In this case, I'm kind of doing it opposite. So I'm going to do the drop first and then go back and get the food, because I got two at the same time, right? Two going on at the same time. That's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? So in this case, we're going to go ahead and do this. I should be there at 8:07, which gives me another 9 minutes to get back to the other restaurant, okay? I don't have a lot of time to find the apartment or find the house or whatever. So in some cases, I'll run just to kind of stay on top of it. And it kind of keeps me, you know, energized and alert and things like that. But not always. But in this kind of case, you stay alert, you turn everything off. Like ideally, I probably wouldn't vlog this. I would keep everything quiet. I'm dealing with two at the same time. It's a sensitive issue because that's where you get in trouble in a lot of cases, when you get two of them. It said drive forever, and it changed. It changed magically. It said drive forever, and then it changed. All right, so we got that one at 6:12, and that one was dropped. So we've still got a little bit of time to get to the restaurant. So we're gonna see what we can do. These trees are really nice in these neighborhoods. Really nice trees, these little apartments and stuff. I like how they have the mailbox, kind of like right there on the sidewalk. Then you just get the mail. That's one of the places where I met my first wife, was in a mailbox kind of like that. There's a place called Crowley. She knew the director of Strangers, the scary movie, the horror film Strangers. Robert Dini. Anyway, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. Dini. But anyway, she knew him. He went to Crowley, and my first wife went to Crowley. We met at a mailbox, kind of like that. It was a little smaller. It's about like 10 or 11 boxes, or 10 or something. She's wearing a pea coat and jet black hair, and I was like, oh, she looks kind of goth. That's interesting. Guy just sitting there on the side of the highway with his doors open. I wonder if he's listening to music. It's weird about Sean in Portland, or Scro in Portland. I sent him a message, about the Please Subscribe show, and I sent, a design that I made for, the label of the show. And he just kind of sent me a bunch of rocks, like a message. I guess it's like a Facebook message photo attachment of a bunch of rocks. I'm like, what? You know, I sent him a message saying, hey, can you trim this up or make this look, you know, what, can you do something with it? And he just sends me like a bunch of rocks. It's kind of like when Charlie Brown goes, you know, Charlie Brown, he's going trick-or-treating. He's like, can I have some candy? You know, like real candy, you know. And they give him a piece of coal. You know, it's like, wow, I got a lump of coal, you know. He sends me a bunch of rocks, you know. Maybe if he put the rocks down that said the Please Subscribe show or something, you know. Acknowledge the show. Acknowledge it. You know, wake up, people. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, when I was younger, my dad got a divorce from my mom, or my mom divorced my dad, really is what happened. My mom left my dad. And he took me to this Taco Bueno that was right down that way. It's behind us, down that way. And he let me play video games all day. And I was no longer allowed to see my mom for a long time. So I woke up one time and she was gone, you know. My mother was gone. I had no mother for a while. And my dad wouldn't allow me to see her for a long time. And then finally I got to see my mom again. I'd go back and forth from mom to dad's, mom to dad's, mom to dad's. I would never do that to my children, ever.